Good night, everyone. Happy New Year, belatedly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 338. First live stream for 2020 view. It has been a minute. People been ask me teach what I go on. The people then been asking where is teach them. Me not see him, I do not streaming. But we there. I'm a long story here, man, but we not dwell upon the past. Water under the bridge. We put them things that we freeze on the fridge. You know what I mean? Peeps, pick up on yourself. We there. Another year. One more year upon the bug of them. You know what I mean? Plus some other things. Yes, Scotty. Me know me feel a fool. You ever hear them say birds of a feather flock together? And me and you are friend, you know. You understand? So then the whole of we feel what that. You see me? So yeah, people, some things. But big up on yourself. We're there. I know some people, this could have scared some people by surprise, but I just come to talk about a few things. Get back myself in our streaming vibes. You understand? I'm going to try to do better with the stream them for 20 plenty few. And thing. Kind of drop the catch a lot of times. For various different reasons. Things I'm going to really wish we get into right now. But we're there. You understand? Hope that everybody is okay, everybody is healthy, everybody is safe. We know that around the world there is now another spike in the COVID situation with a new variant. I think there was another variant that was discovered in France, must say yesterday or the day before. Sometime since we must call I hate you. I don't know. I hate you. I don't know. But yeah, so we are going watch it thing. The COVID numbers in Jamaica has been spiking for the past week or so. We are well and truly in our fourth wave, are experiencing the fourth wave. You know the thing goes. So with us there, I go and watch a thing and I hope and pray. Zane. Some things go on since the last time we stream like Reid collect some money from JC and the government and step. Zane. Dog Pop was buried recently. Um, there is plans afoot based on information in the street that the Prime Minister is planning a cabinet reshuffle. Many people have been weighing in on that. There has been, rumors and counter rumors as to some possible switch. We'll watch and see and think because at the end of the day, whoever get what, we still have to buy sugar next day, though. You understand? We still have to send our youths to school and them something. So, them something, and thing. But what they are, peeps? As we say, a new year, new outlook, new frame of mind, new vision, new mission, new goals, new other things, but you know what I mean, and then something there. So big up on yourself. Before I proceed though, let me take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to every single one of you who has supported me not only in 2021 but from 2016 until now. Zane, for the people that were there from the beginning, big up on yourself. For the people that have come along the journey, big up on yourself. For the people that have come recently, big up on yourself. For the people that were gone and take with themselves, big up on yourself, said we. You know what I mean? Everybody play a part. I want to make this thing happen. You understand? We can do a million videos. If we don't watch them, it don't make no sense, though. So I appreciate the ones them. You see me, I say, in a real life, big up on yourself. Yeah, man. So the latest COVID numbers, that was for the 24-hour period, that was Tuesday. That would have been Tuesday, January 4th. There were 735 new COVID 19 cases with 4 more fatalities. I think this is the second time since that there were 700. I think there were 700 on Monday, if memory serves me correctly. Not sure, but yeah. Jamaica has recorded four more COVID-19 fatalities, pushing the total to 2,483. So to date, 2,483 Jamaicans have died as a result of COVID complications. I suppose there are other deaths that are under investigation, so these numbers will change. They are very dynamic. The deceased are a 55-year-old woman, a 72-year-old male, and an 82-year-old male. let me do that again. The deceased are a 55-year-old woman, a 72-year-old male, and a 82-year-old male, and a 66-year-old woman, all from St. Catherine. I think currently, based on the numbers for the past week or so, St. Catherine has been seeing the second highest numbers behind Kingston and St. Andrew, and all the latest fatalities, four, have been in St. Catherine. The Ministry of Health says the deaths occurred between September 12th and January 2nd, 2022. So, yeah, from September 12th, them still are trying to sort out themselves. One more fatality has been recorded as a coincidental death, increasing the tally to 195. And two more deaths are under investigation, moving that figure to 355 to 354. So at the moment, 354 deaths are under investigation to see whether or not they are COVID related or they were COVID related. And two more deaths, well, as I said that. Meanwhile, there were 735 new cases with ages ranging from 25 days to 102 years, pushing the total to 97,066. So we're almost at 100,000 cases so far. I mean, officially, because we know that many people out in the society would have probably contracted and were asymptomatic and contracted, and I say a bad flu, them have an answer or something, and never get a testing and then something. So we know well over 100,000 long time, but officially, on record, we are currently at 97,066. Now, of the new cases, 221 are women and 314 are men. So breakdown by parish, Kingston and St. Andrew lead the way, as I said earlier, with 436 cases. St. Catherine, 66. St. James, 59. And let me just go and look at geography brain for a little minute. If you look at the parishes or the geographical areas or the localities that have been recording the highest number, it becomes immediately apparent to you that these are the most populated areas within the country. So Kingston and St. Andrew, they are leading. St. Catherine, with Portmore and Spanish Town and these densely populated areas. Also St. James, with Montego Bay as a major urban center there. So there's that. Westmoreland 25, St. Thomas 25, Portland 21, Clarendon 20, Manchester 17, Trelawney 14, St. Mary 13, Hanover 11, and St. Elizabeth 6. So all parishes that are currently treating with COVID-19 cases, and yeah. So a total of 2,345 tests were conducted, and that number is always a number that, I always want people to kind of take with a grain of salt, because generally speaking, if you do the maths and listen to people, you hear many people are complaining about how them have bad flu. You understand? And them are treated with all sorts of something, and thing, and not get tested. Like, since recent days, yeah, the word is that everybody have a bad flu. We not go get tested, please and thanks. And if 2,345 tests were done, you can imagine that probably in the population at least one good 7,000 active cases are out there. So that's the things there. The country's positivity rate stands at 34.3%. It is climbing. I think it went down to as low as about at least 5% in late October, early November, thereabout. Zane and thing. In the meantime, there were 83 more recoveries, increasing the total to 66,147. So to date, 66,147 Jamaicans have recovered from COVID. Some 189 persons are in hospital, with 33 being moderately ill, 21 severely ill, and 4 critically ill. It is good to know that the critically ill numbers are not so great, even though I wish there were none. 4 people are in government quarantine, while 22,439 are at home. Yeah, so that's the COVID situation. Concerning times, worrying times. Many people have been weighing in, especially with the resumption of face-to-face classes in our schools. Some people are okay, some people are okay, but they are also cautious. Some people are say, yo, the youth them to still stay home, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit because the youth them have to go back to school somewhere along the line, you know. You understand? When will be the perfect time for the youth them go back to school? Seeing, cause we can't sit down again and say, all right, we are wait till the numbers decrease and there's some more stability, and then we have an next spike because this thing by the looks of it, it ain't going anywhere, man. So it rough. You understand? I can imagine as a parent you preparing to send your child to school, knowing that we are in the fourth wave, Zane, but then the learning loss has been massive and will continue to be massive for a long time. And we will start to see the effects of the learning loss in a few years' time. And Jaja, it rough, bad. The government will continue to facilitate face-to-face classes. So the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Favour Williams, says the government will continue to facilitate the resumption of face-to-face classes, which began on Monday, January 3, while being guided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Some schools are actually having face-to-face classes as we speak. If it was up to me, my recommendation would be that for the first week, classes would be in the virtual space. And my reason for this is that, mark you, I am absolutely certain that some of our children are sick, are suffering from symptoms of COVID because there are some careless parents and brothers and sisters who out a frolic and a part of them life away during the holidays. Zane. So in the virtual space for a week, so if any child is presenting with symptoms, they would have been home or they would be home and such. You can separate those who are healthy from those who are not feeling so well. And then with the second week now, you start in a stage by stage or phase by phase admitting students to school. That would be my suggestion. But some schools have gone ahead and they are seeing children face to face. I can only imagine how joyful the kids are. Some of them haven't been in the physical school environment for somewhat 2 years now, really. Give or take a few months. So it rough. So that is where the expertise lie. They have been guiding us through the coronavirus pandemic, and so we look to them for the education sector, she said. So Mrs. Williams was speaking at a ceremony today, January 4th, or that was yesterday. That was yesterday, for the handover some printer business of Parakal Primary in St. Andrew. So the minister noted that as our children are back in the face-to-face environment, we collect information from our schools, adding that if there are any issues, we let the Ministry of Health and Wellness know. So we stand guided, and they have every confidence in the ministry as they look at the data and as they incorporate all that is happening into their decisions, the minister said. Now, I would advise caution when we ingest and digest any utterance from the Ministry of Education, speaking from personal experiences. I have in the past heard ministers and members of the education ministry come out and say some things that me I wonder if I'm in the same education sector me working. Like them me I say them so then I know say teacher like watching news, I read the paper, I listen the radio, they like I really that them just say and them know say and so you go. So I would advise you to, you know what I mean, collect all the data and information for yourselves and assess your personal situation. Parents, you need to be, on your P's and Q's and keep up eye on your kids and, make the decision that will be best for your child and your family. You understand? I just saw the things set up, Don't trust the Ministry of Education. That is just from me to you too. Them say a lot of things. And many times I know so it go. So yes. But it is what it is. School face-to-face classes are resuming, have resumed, will continue to resume for the short term. Let's see how it unfolds as the fourth wave continue to wash our shores and the fallout from that. Adding to the fourth wave conversation, I am starting to hear, a few utterances from within the health sector that the hospitals are now beginning to feel the strain of the latest spike. Let's hope that it is not in any way, shape, or form um, resembling what transpired during the third wave, where there were no beds in practically all the hospitals. There was oxygen shortage, a whole host of things. So let's hope that this wave is not as bad as the previous one or previous waves, so to speak, and that we will be able to emerge from same in the shortest possible time with the fewest fatalities possible, among other things. As I've said before, the virus is something that we'll have to learn to live with. It apparently is not going anywhere. Every now and then you hear of a new strain and different mutations of the virus and all them something. So we just have to go find ways and means of coexisting, and life have to go on. It's just the nature of the thing that school have to work me eventually. When is the right time, that is for each person to figure out. I don't know that any right time will exist right now, but it is risky and it just rough. You understand? Good night, Tony Shea. Zine, so for all parents, continue to educate and have meaningful conversations with your kids, with your children about the situation and the best practices. Teachers continue to be vigilant and understand that your responsibilities are now even more important in terms of not only imparting and edifying um, our children, but also helping to try and keep the COVID situation contained. Not sure how much more our teachers can do or take, but that is what we signed up for, innit? So we just have to do the maths and make the thing work. You see me? And thing. I also will go on record and say that I sincerely hope that the push and sustained push to resume face to face classes is not in any way, shape, or form associated with a potential local government election. I would be very disappointed if that was the case. We know that it is due, we know that it will be happening eventually, but I would really and truly hope that the concerted push for the resumption of face to face classes is not in lieu of clearing the way and, quieting the conversation local government, pending local government election. I am just thinking aloud, my head kind of big some more times on different things straight up and down in there. So, make we see. I hope that the decision was made in the best interest of our stakeholders, especially our educators and our children, and not for any selfish political gains. Yeah? So let's see. Just watch it. Also, one of the point of conversation in the whole COVID situation and schools reopening is that the ministry, as far as I can remember, had said that in order for schools to be granted permission to resume face to face classes, interactions, schools will have to have the student population at least 65% of same being vaccinated. Now, as far as the information that is available state, only very few schools have even gone anywhere close to a 65% vaccination of students who are registered to same schools. So I have not heard anybody from the media landscape asking any questions as it relates to that. Is that still a thing? Are we still working with that? And if not, has the 65% been adjusted? And if it has been adjusted, what is now the new benchmark that we are operating at? So I don't know. But interestingly, only a couple schools have hit 65% vax target. Yeah? Against the backdrop of an emerging COVID-19 fourth wave and the Monday's resumption of face-to-face classes, Education Minister Favour Williams has said that the Wellness Administration has not established an infection or a positivity rate benchmark that would trigger the closure of schools. Interesting. But remember, them saying that if a school do open face-to-face, you have to have 65%. But no, the minister is saying that there has been no conversation about setting any benchmark. Interesting. That benchmark would have to be formed by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We work with them and we take instructions with regard to this health pandemic from them. At the end of December, 32% of students 12 years and older were fully vaccinated against COVID-19, the Education Ministry said. Williams said only one or two schools had met the 65% vaccination target. And these things. So that is one next part of the conversation. Are we now throwing out the 65% target? Or we just a wing it? I mean, the Education Ministry is also tied with the Ministry of Information. I am not sure that they have been communicating as efficiently as, needs be in these times. A lot of things are gray and some things needs clarity. But, make a watch and see. Kids, be careful. Teachers, be careful. Parents, be careful. Everybody, be careful. You and I know that if there is anywhere that is conducive or that is more conducive to the spread of any communicable disease, virus, is any area where there's a concentration of children. And the greatest concentration of children is normally in schools when schools are in operation. So by extension, logics would dictate and tell you that it would be very bad if we start having outbreaks within our schools. So guys, be careful. You understand what I mean? I say it's delicate, it's rough, but school have to open sometime, yeah, sir. I just that's the thing there. So some teachers are adamant that they will not become vaccinated either. They will not be taking the vaccine. I am hearing that some teachers are even going as far as resigning in taking a stance against becoming vaccinated. So there are many plots and subplots to this. There are many different facets and factors at play. So we'll watch and see. And these are the dark times, my love. Hey, yes, Rasta Judge. In the whole discussion of crime situation affecting Jamaica, one of the recurring topic of discourse and discussion is the fact that our borders are porous and most of the guns that are coming into the country is coming in at informal points of entries, with fishing villages and other areas of landing areas around the country and thing. And what is being done to improve that. So the JDF has been, I suppose, retooling and expanding slowly, I guess, but incrementally. Boost for Jamaica's border security 3 vessels to help with protection of maritime space, says Chang. So Jamaica's ability to secure its borders have been significantly enhanced with the commissioning of 3 Jamaica Defence Force Coast Guard vessels. The vessels, Her Majesty's Jamaica ship, HMS JS, Her Majesty's Jamaica ship, Jaja, Her Majesty's Jamaican ship. So, let me tell you what the ship them name. The ship them name Samuel Sharp, George William Gordon, and Alexander Bustamante. But HMSJ Samuel Sharp, HMSJ George William Gordon, and HMJS, not MSJ, HMJS Alexander Bustamante. Yes, and Her Majesty things them. So, yes. They were commissioned during a ceremony on Thursday, December 30, that was attended by National Security Minister and Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Reid Chang. According to Chang, the vessels will further strengthen the country's maritime border and protect its interests through enhanced maritime domain awareness and response capabilities. So the addition of Her Majesty's Jamaican ship Alexander Bustamante will greatly assist the Jamaica Defence Force Coast Guard in delivering its mandate to monitor and maintain law and order in Jamaica's maritime domain and provide a safe environment for establishing Jamaica blue economy. And long story short, so they had 3 more vessels, which is very good. We give thanks to that. Yeah, so I say because boy, I'm rough. I did a story the other day where the JDF intercepted a vessel with 2 men aboard, and they seized 2 handguns and over 159 assorted rolls of ammunition, so magazines and then something there. So, and the men were destined for Jamaica. I don't know where they was coming from still, but yes. And them thing. Set away. Wanted man captured in St. Catherine. So the police are reporting that reputed gangster, 40-year-old Reid Ruel, otherwise called Peck, who was wanted for murder, has been captured. They say Ruel, a reputed member of the Taylorland gang, was apprehended by members of the SWAT team of the Specialized Operations Branch and members of the St. Catherine North Police. Ruel was taken into custody in Augustown, Glengough, St. Catherine there's an Augustown in Glengough, between 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. during a mission-driven operation. So apparently they were operating on intelligence. The police say Ruel was featured as wanted by the St. Andrew Central Police for the July 2011 murder of Odari Maitland, otherwise called Paulwell, which occurred on Lyndhurst Road in St. Andrew. Lyndhurst Road in St. Andrew. And 2011, 10 years after that, 11 years after that, long time, but yeah, that's how I think go. Them still go around the issue with the legal ports. I don't know what you mean by that, Cylinder brother, because I mean security measures I'm sure are in those areas. I mean guns still come through. But I will go without even the empirical data and the facts. I will suggest to you, posit to you, that most of the illegal guns that come in the country comes through unofficial ports and not through the main ports of entry. Yes, weapons still come through, I am certain of it. But the truth of the matter is that most of the guns are coming in around the islands, informal, unregulated points of entry. That is just the cold hard facts. So whilst we need to tighten up our ports of entries, official formal ports of entries, the 2 international airports, the airstrips them that are in operation, and the wharves, sure, absolutely. But rest assured that most of the guns them are forward through some place where, you understand, clear passage exists. That does so things set up. But them places need to sort out for choose still. But I don't know that you said going around and like, I don't know, many seizures have been made down the years. I've covered many a story in relation to weapons being intercepted at our ports of entry. So, I don't know. It's just that some sneak through. We need to stop that, reduce that, eliminate that. I also saw an article recently where I don't remember who within the Ministry of National Security was saying that there has been some um, agreement with the United States in trying to treat with the inflow of guns from the United States into Jamaica. And a partnership has been established, and they will be working together going forward. I also read an article recently where the Prime Minister said that a new gun, a new bill is being drafted in relation to the gun laws in Jamaica to make the penalties for illegal possession of firearm and crimes committed with illegal weapons, the punishment being way more severe. So we'll watch and see, and see how quickly this bill can move through the House of Representatives, and see what the punishments will be. So we'll see. I saw an article, I'm gonna read it today, where I think it's an MP, I don't know which MP, where I say, gun a 300 years man forget a gun or murder. I don't know, I'm gonna read it, I forgot read it. The US in a partnership, I don't know about that. But what it means is like so we alone can't do it. We alone can't do it, and the truth is practically 95% of the weapons that enter Jamaica are American made. Yeah? So what is so, sinister about creating some form of working relationship with the United States in lieu of trying to reduce the inflow of guns in Jamaica? I don't have no issue with that. You see me? So, I don't know. Right. 2021 saw the end of plenty man and many women who were killed. Time for a punishment of people not doing their job at the point of entry. Stop gun flow to Jamaica. I don't trust the US. Well, I do nothing though. Well, right now, anything that can be done to reduce the inflows of guns into the country, I am for it. You understand what I say? So, that I mean, I speak for me, I know still. So, right now, when I'm really into me not trust this or me not trust that, I just want some improvement here, sir. We and Jamaica and the United States have had many partnerships down the years that have borne fruits in the past. So, I don't know that this one is so different, but alright. I mean, it's okay not to trust people, you know. Empress School, what go on? All is well? Article woman? Young girl cookie. Sizzler, big up yourself, you know. Jamaica ends 2021 with 1,463 murders. And without you asking me, it's more than 2020. Yeah, it. Chef Flavor, blessings in the family. I saw your maths go on. Craigis G, oh, go on. Preliminary number, yeah, first, let me state that preliminary numbers. That means that them no official, you know. Preliminary numbers from the Jamaica Constabulary Force have shown 1,463 murders committed across the island last year. This was 132 or almost 10% above the number or the murder total for 2020. So, on the gist of it, the face of it, 132 more Jamaicans were killed last year compared to 2020. That's a 10% increase. Jaja. The troubled St. Andrew South Police Division, which covers more than 20 volatile inner city communities, accounted for 164 murders in 2021, the most in any single police division for the year. In 2020, the same division, St. Andrew South, also had the dubious distinction of the most murders across the island with 143. So 2 years running, St. Andrew South has recorded the most murders in any police division for the calendar year. Last year represented an almost 15% increase in murders in the division, which was the scene of several curfews and short-lived states of emergencies. Westmoreland, with 128 murders, recorded the biggest increase last year, a 60% jump, with over 80 murders reported in 2020. So 2020 it was 80 in Westmoreland, last year it was 128. And since the start of the year, at least 4 to 5 people have been killed in Westmoreland. We know where 2 cousins were killed and 2 brothers were killed. So at least 2 double murders in Westmoreland since the start of the year. Plus, I'm more sure other people have been killed since 2022. It's rough. In addition, the Kingston Central Police Division, where a bloody conflict is playing out between criminals linked to the genocide and dark side gangs, saw a 55% increase in murders when compared with 2020. But in absolute numbers, the 79 murders in the division, which includes communities dubbed Tel Aviv, Southside, Spoilers, and Raytown, are well below the number of other police divisions. Which is true, but on the other side of the murder figures came Portland, which recorded 15 killings, the fewest of any of the 19 police divisions. But despite the relatively low numbers of murders in the parish, often dubbed Jamaica's most peaceful, there were worrying signs as the murder total reflected a 50% increase over 2020. Jaja. So even though 15 people were murdered in Portland for 2021 and it seems small, previous year I think 7 murders they did in 2020, you know. So I don't even know. In the meantime, Trelawney with a 26% decline in the number of murders, 17, St. Catherine North 99 down 22%, and St. Anne 55 with a 21% decline, led the police divisions in which murders were down last year when compared to 2020. Now, according to the JCA figures, all other major crimes decreased last year, with shootings being almost 2% below 2020. 2% small still, but alright, we'll give thanks to small mercies. Reported cases of rape 25% below the previous year, and robberies showing a decline of 24%. Jaja. 1,463, I think. Yeah, 1,463. It would be such a blessing if we can record less than 1,000 murders this year, and next year, and the year after that, and the rest of my life. That would be a good start. When I just get there 1,000 and something, I mean get it as low as I can, but it has been above 1,000 for eons, donkey years, from the devil was a boy. You understand? Long time that. Rough. And see, 2022 started, and I would have reported on a couple of murders that would have occurred. When I say would have occurred, people get upset, but that have occurred since the start of the year, and they're not even listed in here. So, but these are just other murders since the start of 2022. I would have covered others already. So this is one of the stories that I mentioned earlier. Brothers murdered in Westmoreland. So the police in Westmoreland are investigating the killing of 2 brothers in the community of Carawina in Petersfield early this morning. The deceased have been identified as 43-year-old Dervin Jones and 41-year-old Sheldon Jones. I'm not sure if this morning or next morning still, but that's since week. It is reported that shortly after midnight, the brothers were sitting in their yard having a drink when they were ambushed and shot multiple times by gunmen. Their bodies were subsequently discovered later in the morning by family members. And the police were summoned and the bodies were removed. And as I said, 2 cousins were also killed in Westmoreland before the 2 brothers, a couple days apart. So that are 2 double murders on the west side already. You understand? So you come like, who's I try them best to be the worst in 22? I don't know. I don't know. 2 killed in St. John's Road flare-up. Next time we murder these people, different places. Shootings by rival gangs have left 2 persons dead as a result of gunshot wounds they sustained in separate incidents in the community. Well, I really double it. Off 31 Johns Road in Spanish Town between Monday night and Tuesday morning. The men have been identified as 18-year-old Ronaldo Skeen, otherwise called Lala, or Layla, L-A-L-A, of 31 Johns Road, and 58-year-old Michael Lewis of Lacovia in St. Elizabeth. Skeen, who was hit in Monday night shooting, died at the Spanish Town Hospital about 11 a.m. on Tuesday. Now, residents report that there has been a spate of shootings over the last 3 months since a man from the community was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds at a canal near the neighborhood. So on Monday night, about 9 o'clock, gunmen reportedly traveling in two cars, a white Toyota Probox with no license plate affixed, and a black car entered the community and opened fire at patrons at an illegal party that was in progress. 4 persons were hit, including Skeen, who sustained several gunshot wounds to the upper body. There were, 3 were treated and released, but Skeen, who was considered critical, succumbed to his injuries. Now, residents said that the Toyota Probox returned on Tuesday about 11 a.m. with armed men who again opened fire, this time hitting Lewis and another man who were walking along the roadway. Lewis was pronounced dead at hospital while the other man was admitted in stable condition. Now, an elderly resident speaking on condition of anonymity said that the rival gangs are fighting for turf and alleged that tensions are at unprecedented heights. Jaja. Unprecedented. Anonymity. Yeah, man, I'm a fight over turf. But what me want to know is, when them done fight over turf, who I will get the land title? Who for them I go up on the land title? Who I go pass down the land to them kids and them kids pass it down to for them kids? Who I go pay tax for the turf? How do you fight over something that you can't own? How you benefit from the turf or you fight for? Well, I guess extortion. But come on, man. Me try to do maths. You understand? Regular me hear news stories and read articles say, man a fight over turf. So fine, we are fight over turf. When the fighting done, if the fighting done, who are going to have rights, legal rights to the turf? Who for name are going to on the turf title? Who can pass it down to them youths? Strange. Strange, this feeling I'm feeling. It is bad in here. At the first time I see like this, in all my years living at 31, I never see this kind of violence. Right now, I'm ready for pack up and leave the community because it will not stop now, the residents said. Another, yeah, but 31 John's Road, brother. What kind of business did it? What kind of establishment did it? What kind of economic life is there where them are going to benefit from extortion? You see what I say? So, think about it. Most of the places where you man fight for turf, what is the economic benefit to gain from fighting for the turf? Because most of these places are just some people live there where I try to make ends meet. Where you going to extort them? So, I don't know. Only the big tree in the front. So, I don't know, Andrew. Like, what we are fight for? What we are... Yo, do rasta. And then, what you know, no? Some of them conflict are going for generations, you know. Because your father killed my father. Your grandfather killed my grandfather. You understand what I say? Your son killed my son. So people are dead. You see it? Years upon decades, some of these things are going for. Because no man now say clean up. Recipe, Happy New Year, sis. So I go on. Happy New Year's in a day. So I go on, broski. Them not even know what them a fight for. A true statement has never been made. Yo. And then, so whilst your father killed my father, some cousin and some uncle and some auntie when you're involved in the thing, still are dead because sometimes you can't catch Quark, you catch him shot. Innocent people dying of these things, Because whilst you have criminal in every family, and not every family member are criminal. Let me say that again. Whilst there are criminal, whilst there are criminals in many families, and not every member, every family are criminal. So whilst a man around there so in a foolishness, man say Hunger Games, in a foolishness and a rob and a kill people, Zane, Miss Jones not involved, Master Storm not involved, but Master Storm and Miss Jones are dead because Master Storm and Miss Jones related to Puppy String. You understand? Then Miss Jones and my grandmother when me love bad. And then you bring your foolishness come kill my grandmother when me love bad. Then you got dead, brother. Then think about it. Then when it go stop. And remember, say again, many of them man we are fight for turf, and have gunshot for days, And them same one a ball, say nothing now go on, And the government now do nothing for nobody, But them can fool them magazine, Zine, mash up in a crime scene. You understand me? I say rent car for how much weeks and days, Zine, and have gunshot ablaze. But them hungry and nothing now go on. Gun not cheap. Which part gun a sell cheap? Ammunition not cheap. Why that a sell cheap? Car rental not cheap. Flossing in a dance, a dash of champagne, and them something not cheap. So all you struggle, all not now go on. How you get money for do them things there? The money there where you rent car with for go kill people and buy a gun and you could then buy a car and run some taxi. You know how much man take care of them from. You know how much man comfortably in a life by running taxi. Or buy a one car and then buy a next car and buy a next car and buy a next car till them have a fleet. You know how much you would start at one stall till them now have supermarket to run. You know how much you would buy a little console and buy two little box till them have big sound can rent out. You know how much man start rent one car till them have a fleet of car rent. Yeah? Think about it. Empress Millicent, thanks for the contribution, mother. Hope you're okay. Zane, Mr. Matt Dermott, big up yourself, I know you watch. So when you sit down and you analyze the whole situation, you try to figure out, what the man them really depend, what the man them really a fight for. And then the flip side of it again. You're out the road to kill people. See? You can't happy, brother. Because you have to look over your shoulder. What kind of life that? See? I always tell people, the greatest thing anybody can own in this life is peace of mind. You can't be the richest man in the world and not no peace of mind, brother. You're miserable, You can't enjoy the money, Because you don't know when a man go bang on the head back, Because of how you get the money, So, the next man them when you and them arrive and look for kill you. Police are hunt you. Your own cronies them are turn against you. You're miserable. You run up and down and live in a bush. What kind of life that, brother? Alright, Rosen, I say a word, man. Give thanks. I know the maths. You see it? The youth them, Jaja. The youth them. So that way. You run from next man, you run from yourself, you run from police, you run from everybody. Then what kind of life that? That life you know for me still. You understand? I must get lay down in my bed and hug up my woman at night time and sleep. Alright. and play with my youths them and you understand what I say? It make no sense. So I could done with the place down there, sir. I not even know I reach another party. But watch it, I could go and talk. Is you with it? Yeah, right, you know, we're ready for pack up. Yeah, man. Another resident said the rival gang has roots along Old Harbour Road and is trying to get rid of certain men from 31 in order to seize control of the area. The car them come from Old Harbour Road. Nobody expected that them would have come back Tuesday and kill Rastaman. The place really a get hot, said the resident. So the St. Catherine North police who are investigating both incidents said Tuesday's shooting could be a reprisal for a Monday night's attack. Meanwhile, the St. Catherine North police and members of the Jamaica Defence Force in armoured vehicle are maintaining a strong presence in the area. Jamaican visiting from Cayman gunned down in Manchester. So a 50-year-old Jamaican man was gunned down in Prospect District, Manchester on Monday night. He was visiting the island from Cayman. The victim, Ramel Ham, a construction worker, was due to return to Cayman on Sunday. Amir, stop the nice. Ham is the first murder to be recorded in the parish since the start of the year. Now, police reports are that at about 8:20 p.m., Ham was at a bar in Prospect District with other individuals when gunmen pounced upon and attempted to rob the establishment. Ham was later killed. The other patrons were not hurt. The gunmen fled the scene. Ham is originally from Prospect District but has been living and working in the Cayman Island. Wow. Where's the rose of the show? Scotty. Scotty could have stayed man here. There's something about the place. I do even know. I joke me with man. She's not on the island presently. So she supposed to dead, yes, one of them time. But she good, man. She good as stay in here too. I good as her come custom me and talk about her business. But me no business. You understand? Yeah. Sure there now. So what man killed in Rivoli, Spanish Town. I think I told her that one they go on. So police detectives are probing the killing of a man in Rivoli, Spanish Town, St. Catherine this morning. He has been identified by his alias Shaba. It is reported that residents heard explosions in the community around 10:45 and summoned the police. Expositions, they are saying people not edit the article again. Upon arrival, the deceased man was found lying in blood. The Spanish Town CIB is investigating. Yes, Rasta. And as I said, I just some of the murders them go on since January 1. Just a few of them there. And we talk about 10 of them look well. The 2 double murder west, the Johns Road thing that are 6, the Prospect thing that are 7, the Cayman that are 7, and then the one that so that are 8 plus all about. You see him. Surcharge imposed on Bernard and McLean over $124 million loss at Education Ministry. Yo! So, context for the people who don't know, let me just put some context on this. Grace McLean is the acting chief education officer. She was sent on leave because of some hanky-panky down her ministry. Dean Roy Bernard was the previous permanent secretary. Well, let me get this right. Let me say. Grace McLean was acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education before she was chief education officer. So she was acting as permanent secretary because the previous permanent secretary, Dean Roy Bernard, was sent over finance ministry by Ruel, Reid and some other people back in the days. And long story short, the two of them, so Grace is now on leave after the Auditor General tabled a report and audit into some happenings in the ministry and thing and the investigation and this. So what go on now? A surcharge has been instituted against in limbo permanent secretary in the Education Ministry, Dean Roy Bernard, and acting permanent secretary, Dr. Grace McLean. I remember, Dean Roy Bernard brought the Ministry of Education to court, and the court ruled that he should be reinstated as permanent secretary in the ministry. And I know, I hear dog back about that, Grace still did run it off, by the grace of Grace. See? So now, Bernard and acting permanent secretary, Dr. Grace McLean, after it was revealed that the ministry was unable to account for $124 million of taxpayers' money. I'm here, leave my door. Education Minister Paulwell Williams confirmed the latest development during a post-cabinet press briefing recently. She said, however, that there has not yet been any recovery of the funds paid to the Cecil Cornwall chaired Joint Committee on Tertiary Education, JCTE. I'll know I can wrap my big head around that. Over a 32-month period. Now, surcharge action was taken by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Letters would have been written to her permanent secretary acting in that regard, and I know that she has taken the necessary steps to deliver the letters that would have come to her, Williams told journalists. I think the acting permanent secretary now is Dr. Cassan True. Now, Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis had made a recommendation in her report in Parliament in October on the allegation that both senior officials at the Education Ministry had failed in their fiduciary duty. Monroe Ellis also recommended that the police or an anti-corruption agency further investigate the matter. Williams subsequently announced that she had referred the matter to the Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. She also wrote to Director General at the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, MOCA, Colonel Desmond Edwards, signaling that the ministry was available to provide any information needed in the probe. Bernard had been previously transferred from the ministry and is currently locked in a court battle over the matter while McLean was sent on leave following the report. But as far as I know, the court rules that Bernard will go back, so I don't know. Asked if McLean will be returning to the ministry this month and in what capacity, State Minister in the Education Ministry, Robert Morgan, said a determination will be made after the outcome of the investigations. It would be inappropriate for us to act without being empowered by the constituted authority. We also have to contemplate that persons have legal rights that they, under the Constitution and various statutes, benefit from, he said. It would be highly improper to pronounce on somebody's future without being empowered by what is being done in terms of the investigation. And so on. You see it? So, surcharge. Cause 124 mil missing. You see me? And that is, me telling you, at least $1 billion has been stolen from the Ministry of Education down the years, At least $1 billion Jamaican dollars. You see? At least $1 billion between some people and some people. And when you add up everything, yeah, man. Bless you. So I go watch and see what go on. So them said Dean Roy and Grace for pay $124 million. I don't know if it's going to split 50-50. So that would then be what? 62 mil each. That's how much go. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, they learn to count 9 times, Yeah, about $62 million each that. So I go see what go on. Because a lot of things are said in these times and it just disappear and like carpet and like linoleum or whatever they on the floor, Yeah, so these are things people put that on the floor too. I red polish like. Interesting. NIDS will be fully operational this year, says the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the National Identification System NIDS will be fully operational this year. I am hoping that by the end of the year, we will have a significant portion, if not the majority of the population, properly identified in the National Identification System, Holness said during a tour of the NIDS Card Centre at the Post and Telecommunications Department on South Camp Road in Kingston on Thursday. The facility will be responsible for producing the identification cards issued on the NIDS. It includes the production center, vault area, and enrollment site. Now, Prime Minister Holness, outlining the importance of NIDS, noted that when a service is provided, the government must be able to identify the beneficiaries and be able to account to you, the citizens, as to how your funds are spent. Now, Program Director for NIDS, Warren Vernon, indicated that the system is about 80% completed. Holness assured that the ID cards that will be issued through the NIDS will be secured with the highest level of encryption and cannot be duplicated and misused. The data that you give is kept in the highest level of security with proper oversight to ensure that this is protected. The protocols around how that data is used and shared is of the highest level, said the Prime Minister. Now, Jamaica's National Identification System will provide a comprehensive and secure structure to enable the collection and storage of identity information. This secure voluntary tool can also verify an individual's identity, facilitate the electronic signing of documents, and securely access a range of government services online. Well, let's see. I have publicly stated how I feel about NIDS already. The first bill was very intrusive, and some tenets of the bill were very concerning. Julian Robinson led a challenge against the constitutionality of the bill, and it was struck down by the Supreme Court, I think. It was redrafted, went through the House, amendments made, and now it is on the way. I have long said that NIDS has the potential to aid the crime fight significantly, among other things. So let's see, as long as people's personal information is not accessible to some people. You understand what I say? Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as I say, So, I could watch and see. Now, let's continue. The Jamaica Environmental Trust, along with the opposition, has demanded a buffer zone for the cockpit country. There has been some development with Special Mining Lease 173, where I think the government issued a license recently for mining to take place near Madras in St. Anne in relation to SML 173. But I think what they are saying, I read the article, I remember, what they are saying is that the initial lease was supposed to facilitate the mining of some 8,000 hectares, I think. But this one has been reduced to 1,000. I don't remember, I'm going to read it again. I don't want to lie by nobody. But some things are going, Magdalena going down. Calls have increased for Environment Watchdog, Jamaica Environment Trust, and the opposition People's National Party for Legislative Protection on the Cockpit Country Protected Area, CCPA, following the decision by the National Resources Conservation Authority, NRC, to grant a special mining lease, SML, to Noranda Bauxite. Yeah, Kevin, so I just drop a one stream because a long time we don't really do nothing still. Hope to resume the regular Friday programming soon and very soon. So because the two groups are also insisting that buffer zones be declared around the cockpit country protected area, which would ensure environmental protection. Now, following months of public pressure, the National Environment and Planning Agency on Monday announced a reduction in the area in the cockpit country to be mined on the SML 173 granted to Noranda. The original application for the environmental permit for mining and quarrying in 2018 for SML 173 was for a total of 8,335 hectares. I know anything, but I look level. See? This was later reduced to 6,163 hectares after the removal of the cloudback area. I'm not sure what that is. That has been further reduced to 1,324 hectares of land in the protected area of St. Anne. So they're saying, and let's put this out there now. They are saying that initially the mining lease, special mining lease 173, covered 8,335 hectares. There was a reduction from the 8,335 to 6,163. And since then, a greater reduction to 1,100 to 1,324. Interesting, all right? Jet said Tuesday that news was not a victory, adding that concerns remain that Noranda may be offered additional compensatory land in St. Anne. This is our major concern, that the significant impacts of bauxite mining, displacement, loss of livelihoods, threats to water supply. I need to do a series on this, the whole fallout from mining across different areas in Jamaica that has experienced mining. I think I have written down somewhere. I need to start add some different things to each channel. Some serious journalistic work. And when people call me journalist, I get cross. Because they normally use it to make some point. Like, look here, man, don't call me a journalist. I'm a content creator. Don't allow me. Don't brand me. Me that no cattle. That me have to be a journalist. When I say I got to carry my car, them place the CPTs there, we're not a journalistic accreditation. We just learn as we go along. Love me. So what you are going on? Yes. This is our major concern, that the significant impacts of bauxite mining, displacement, loss of livelihoods, threats to water supplies, loss of biodiversity, including reduction of soil fertility, public health impacts will just be transferred elsewhere. Until we know these details, it is impossible to fully assess what this decision means for Jamaica. Jamaica Environmental Trust CEO Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody said, Jet said it was also concerned that the area to be mined includes the Rio Bueno watershed and is forested. It said there are implications for hydrology. It urged that the details of the permit be made public, including the size of the performance bond, a plan for a compensation, and the details surrounding the health impact study to be conducted. The agency said the area excluded from mining, specifically the forest reserves and cloudback area, should now be included in the cockpit country protected area so that it will no longer be under threat of new mining applications. Fair enough. 4 years after the declaration of the cockpit country protected area, this vitally important protected area has still not been legally gazetted. We believe urgent action on this is of paramount importance, Jet said. At the same time, calling for the declaration of a buffer zone and that the restoration guidelines for mined areas be revised. Jet also expressed strong opposition that Noranda be allowed to reapply to mine other areas after the initial 5-year environment permit, noting that while the industry profited, Jamaica is in its early years, its cost now far exceeds those benefits. You see me? I have spoken about this thing innumerable times. You understand? I have journeyed to the cockpit country, spoken to people in the know. I have been privy to certain plans and course of actions, and Noranda, them just buy them time. Every day I saw a news article. I don't know how much am I pay the media houses to report on these things. Noranda will be planting trees. Noranda build water tank. Noranda give 2 exercise books. Noranda give 3 pencils. Every day there's a different article about Noranda. So they are on a mission, a public relations mission, to show that they are doing good whilst doing bad. If you get what I say. And as I said, I'm not opposed to mining for those persons who will get hot under the collar. I am not opposed to mining. I am opposed to mining in the cockpit country based on its geological, hydrological, ecological importance and significance to the country. It's as simple as that. You understand? Yes, so let's get that out there. Now, I should have spoken about this from The Devil Was a Boy, but me not stream since. The Devil turned big man. Remember that Ruel, Reid and Fritz Pinnock and co, they are using every legal loophole and technicalities them can find so, well, to prevent their case from going to trial. The matter is in front of the judicial review. I think that hearing comes up sometime in this month. If memory serves me correctly, sometime in the 20s, I think. Could be wrong. They also sought leave to apply to the UK-based Privy Council on the matter. However, that matter has been thrown out by the Court of Appeals. This news came very close to when him get the PR from Upper JC, but 2 minutes street, but me have to talk about it. Anyway, I have to make one know what go on. Appeal Court refuses application for Reid and Pinnock to take matter to the Privy Council. The Court of Appeal refused an application for a leave for former Education Minister Ruel Reid and President of the Caribbean Maritime University Fritz Pinnock to take their fraud case to the United Kingdom-based Privy Council. The men are seeking to have criminal charges dropped against them. They are contending that the Financial Investigation Division did not have the authority to arrest and charge them. But both the full court and the appeal court ruled that the legal challenge should be made in the parish court where the case is to be tried. The men then sought leave from the appeal court to take the issue to the Privy Council. Now in June, Attorney at Law Richard Small, who represented the FID, argued that the men should not be granted permission to go to the UK Privy Council. Small described the application as an abuse of the process. Now, Attorney at Law Hugh Waldman, who is representing Reid and Pinnock, argued that the matter was of great public importance and should be decided by Jamaica's final appellate court. But the matter not going to trial it, so if we decide by a final appellate court, the matter has not been to trial. But alright, because I don't know a law still, you know. You understand? Just a layman. In June, the Court of Appeal reserved its decision and handed down its ruling recently, not so long ago. You understand? So Reid, his wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, along with Pinnock and Brownstown Division Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence are facing fraud and corruption charges. We don't know the whole shebang. We can continue. The accused are said to have defrauded the Ministry of Education and the Caribbean Maritime University of millions of dollars. Wildman, in commenting on the Court of Appeals ruling, said Reid and Pinnock will now have to go to the Privy Council by way of special leave. The man them not drop it. So the Court of Appeal did not give leave for application. They're saying, well, the lawyer is saying they will now seek special leave. Wildman said already, contact has been made with a lawyer in England and necessary documents will soon be filed at the Privy Council. He said Reid and Pinnock will be relying on a ruling by Chief Justice Brian Sykes, who first heard the application. Wildman said Skies did not grant the application because he said he did not see any evidence in writing where the two policemen who charged the men were designated by the Commissioner of Police as authorized officers under the FID Act. According to Wildman, evidence in writing in relation to the designation was produced in the full court and the Court of Appeal, but they both ruled that the application should be heard by the parish judge. Now, Senior Parish Judge Chester Crooks had heard an application and ruled that the trial should proceed. The men challenged Crooks' ruling, and the Supreme Court has granted leave for them to go to the Judicial Review Court to quash that ruling. That matter will be heard soon, as I said. Because them say Crooks, You used to go Monroe like Ruel. So I'm showing a rule in that case. Yeah, I don't know, Rasta George. I don't know. Mm. Him and them not, him and them not. Oh, since me last stream to Paulwell get back in visa. And there's no designation for a film like for So yeah, me have that scripted there, so but we can move on from this. And Ruel Reid walks away from JC with $23.3 million settlement. Think they do one video upon that. Think the yeah. The ministry provides some and JC provides some. I think it is $5 million less than he should have received. So I don't know why I never get that still, but them sort out them thing. Long next thing. So we are going to watch. Look here. At no point in time has Ruel Reid or Fritz Pinnock said they are innocent men. At no point in time I have heard you Wildman said his clients are innocent. All I have heard is that the people that may arrest them are the police. That's all I hear, you know. So the FID officers has no jurisdiction to arrest them. That is all me I hear. Me never hear we innocent. Never. Zine, this is about, so I think the parish court, the Supreme Court, the appeals court, this is about the third to fourth attempt at getting the thing quashed they have lost. So the matter is in front of the judicial review. Let's see how that goes soon. The man them said they're going to seek special leave to go privy council because the court of appeal never give. And not even didn't know, say, you can seek special leave to go privy council if the court of appeal don't give you the appeal, the granted the application. See? So, we don't know. We don't know. Auntie. And if them money are not responsible for the money we're missing, then who is? We have to go find them. You see me? So, I don't know. Man, they say wrong man, they lock them up here, man. That's all the man they say. Wrong man, they lock them up. That's all. Reggae artist Sevana to go on trial on October 31st. So on October 31st trial date has been set for reggae singer Sevana to answer to a charge of death by dangerous driving. Judge Steve Walters set the mentioned date in the Westmoreland Circuit Court, I think yesterday, as the singer was offered $400,000 bail with no condition. Attorney at law Shane Morgan, who is representing the reggae singer, requested that his client be allowed to travel without restrictions to facilitate her career. The maximum penalty for causing death by dangerous driving is 5 years imprisonment at hard labor. The 30-year-old singer, whose real name is Anna Blake, was charged following an accident last May. The police reported that she was traveling along the Scott Cove Main Road in White House, Westmoreland, when the Honda City motor car she was driving collided with a Honda Fit going into the opposite direction. Cordale, who was traveling in the Honda Fit, sustained severe injuries and was admitted to the Black River Hospital. She died on May 30. The police report also stated that Sevana's license was issued on May 17, 1 week before the accident. She was officially charged on June 1, 2021. Oh, she's a young driver. Sevana is known for a single manga man, I think. You know that part. So, Judge, it's rough. Yeah, man, it has been in the media, and Nix. Yeah, man, it has been in the media space, man, that she was involved in an accident that ended up being fatal, where one person died, and she went to court. I think she went to court in December, I think, and a mention date was set for January. The mention date was set, I think that was yesterday, and she was granted bail and thing. I am happy though that she's allowed to travel, so she can, continue to pursue her career despite the circumstances. I am really saddened to know that the driver of the underfit lost her life. You see me? John was there. As I said, it's 1 week. The accident happened 1 week after she get her license. You see? Mm-hmm. Rough. KD vibes, all go on Empress. James Bond, big bro, where you deal with? Cha, cha. Boy, it rough. Ruel in France, still wow, sorry. Ruel, I don't know, I don't understand that. Jack Cure gets January 12th hearing. Cha, cha. Jack Cure's first public hearing for attempted murder and aggravated assault in the Netherlands is set for next Wednesday, January 12th at 11:45 a.m. Franklin Watimena, press officer, because I call him Franklin, yes, sir. Press officer with the Netherlands Public Prosecution Service in Amsterdam, who shared the development, said investigations are still ongoing. Yeah? It's a long time, nothing, brother. The hearing is a pro forma hearing. The investigation is not complete. The case is therefore not yet being substantively tried. A date for the substantive trial is not yet set. At the hearing on Wednesday the 12th, the prosecutor will speak briefly about the state of the investigation. Yeah, Jaja. Jack Cure, who is being represented by Tim Schaefer of law firm one long name then Nielsen, is being held at an undisclosed detention center outside of Amsterdam since October 2021, since October of last year, you know. You see it? If the prosecutor considers it necessary for the suspect to remain in custody, she will request the court to extend the remand order with a period of up to 90 days. The court will decide whether the remand order will be extended or not, said the press officer. Now, the 43-year-old singer, who served an 8-year prison sentence for rape in Jamaica, is detained for allegedly stabbing a show promoter, Nicardo Blake, in the Netherlands on October 2nd. He has been charged with attempted murder, attempted manslaughter, aggravated assault, or attempted aggravated assault. Blake, whose Roots Vibe company staged reggae shows in the Netherlands, allegedly sustained injuries to the abdomen and was reportedly hospitalized. Wow. GLRN, blessings. Free the cure. Boy, rough. Rough. So next week Wednesday, make we see what go on now. And thing. Hope the cure is in good spirits. You see? We still don't know the full circumstances related to the situation. We know that, Jack Cure has been in the media for the wrong reasons in the past, in recent times as well, and thing. But I wanna wish them things upon the money, brother. You see me? Great singer, you understand? But I don't know, brother. I know. I know. But Mr. Sikator, go and hold it, brother. And we'll see a thing. Yes, I'm here, Williams. Leave my door, sir. Peeps, I just say thing there. You understand? I just have wet back my foot them. Foot them the kind of dry like. So I just have moisturize them look up. So Friday night we should debut and thing. We'll talk about some other things that affect Jamaica. I really and truly hope that this year will not be as mentally and emotionally taxing with these stories. You know, murder and this, murder that, shooting this, shooting that, kidnapping, rape. And I just want a Jamaica where, I don't know, a long time we not have a nice time, yeah, sir. You see me? No, 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 sister fan. We don't care them foot there. Them foot they don't fit with. You understand? So, big up on yourself, peeps. As I said, I appreciate sincerely your continued support. You guys have been awesome. Your support is what continue to, make us viable, make us grow and thing. I would have taken some time off last year. I needed that. I needed to just breeze for a while. I was suffering from burnout. You have to understand. I would have been burning the candle at both ends for the past 3-4 years, and I was just tired. You understand? I remember I did this while holding down a full-time job as an high school teacher and what that comes with. And I just needed a break. Like, so even though, the channel was up and running same way, I wasn't streaming as consistently as I was. I wasn't uploading as often as I was and thing. And, we are trying to fix them things here. So we're there, yeah, and things. So we are trying to work on anything. The journey continues. We have missions and visions, and we keep on doing the thing our way, the right way. You understand? Not the gossip, sus, negativity way. Even though more time we do some videos where we are covered news stories and people say be a negativity and we are paying Jamaica and our bad light and this and that and answer and go for. Like, yeah, we get it. Just now watch the channel, family. You understand what I'm saying? And thing. Because some people out there do some videos and some things on them channel where shouldn't me no soon come. Well, me don't even know because I'm not really over them place and either still. Like, we see some video pop up in our recommendation, the title, and I say, really? And things. So, brother, alright. We just do some work. As Bigger Ford say, we just do some work. You understand what I say? So, if you want to take a person, it's up to you. See, most of them people that will complain when we do some video where I highlight some positive things. We don't see them. You understand? But yet still them run come and chat off them out. You see? So I do so the thing. I do the thing. And I keep growing. We hope that 2022 will be another productive year for you, your family. You understand? They teach them family as well. You see, my content for do our good. Most times out of the camera light, out of the view of the camera, most of the things that we do, we just do because, you know what I mean, it needs to be done and we are able to do and help some people. You see? And think every now and then me cover one story on camera because me don't have my reasons why I do that. But generally, we continue to do our local thing in the background and do what we can do for what we can do it for and keep it moving and, you know what I mean, continue to be a motivation and inspiration to the youths and them something there. And to my youths as well and them something there. But peace, big up on yourself. We appreciate every single person where see me on the streets and say teach. We love the work. We appreciate the work. You do some great work around that. I appreciate it. As I said that, somebody, let me see if I can find it. Somebody gave me, I went somewhere recently and a young man saw me and he said I appreciate the work and he was at this place of work still and thing and him said me for big up. My name Halloween from V-Bar. V-Bar is in Portmore. You understand? The man said teach, we love the work and more you big name. So Halloween, which camera am I there on? Halloween from V-Bar in Portmore. Big up yourself in my Jenna. Go and do the thing. You understand? Keep safe and go and put food on the family table the right way, the bright way. You know what I mean? Big up yourself. Yeah, man. The man write it thing, See it? The man write it. Oh, if this is going to focus. Alright, let me see if this is going to focus. This is not focus. Focus. See it? They not focus. They not focus. But if they something. You see me I say, oh, that screen I need to turn around now, yeah. Auntie. Yeah, I probably can't get it to focus on the camera, you know. Focus, man. Boom. Right there. Yeah, man. You all waiting for a V-bar. Big up yourself. And the man said, big up the whole V-bar staff, you know. Focus. See? Eh. Yeah, man. See that? Big up yourself, you. All the people that walk down the streets are out of love, man. You understand? There's a thing. When I am in the streets, the only way somebody heal me, I mean, you know what I mean? Go cross, go express my gratitude. Me can't stop at the time. But that's something I always try to do. See? So, you know, we give thanks and we're there to do the work. You understand? It has been a journey and the journey continues. We appreciate the ones them. So 2022, more interviews, more good videos. I want to add some more, you know, real authentic content to the channel. I have some series of more work on and some things. I also need to get the other channels up and running. I haven't done anything on Jamaica in a long time. I have some plans for that channel as well. TD clips. I always have things to put on TD clips. I just now put that over there right now. JA positive. I still hope to stream over there at least once per week. Zane and things. So, you know, we just get ourselves together and get some things in place and then something. But we're there. We're there. Peace. Big up on yourself. Appreciate every single one of you. Zane. The skeptics and the supporters. Everybody. Because there's nothing in life where you're going to do everybody going to like it and appreciate it. And you're not going to... There's no... You can't run a channel and every video do people are going to appreciate it and agree with your views and them something. So I just say, we understand that. We came to that realization early on. You know, most of the streams, Scotty will be here as well. That is, you know, a part of the thing where we need to make more consistent as well. A different perspective from mine, a different outlook on the thing. You understand? Kind of bring some dynamism and diversity to the thing as well. And I think probably Simo will be joining us for some of the streams as well. That's my brother. Them man, they're busy still, you see. So I don't say anything. Peace, big up on yourself. Art of love. Have a wonderful plenty few. You understand? Wonderful 2022 for you and your family. I hope that we continue to stay safe, to remain healthy, and fight a good fight. You understand? And remember that whether you're home or abroad, all well-thinking Jamaican has to play a role in making Jamaica a better place. Peeps, big up on yourself. Walk good. Step with Jah. Art of love. Safe travel upon the gravel. Friday, about 7:30, 8:30. Make it a date and don't be late. Don't look fit. Get book fit. I'm out. I don't know where I'm out, I can't find it, but I'm out. Me soon. You see? Big up on yourself.